He had no home, no money, and no backup plan, but today he's one of the biggest artists in the world. A young man with messy red hair, a guitar slung over his shoulder, and no place to call home is walking from one small gig to another. He doesn't know where he'll sleep that night. He doesn't know if anyone will listen to his music. But he knows one thing he's not going to give up. That young man is Ed Sheeran, and his journey from homelessness to becoming a $350 million global icon is one of the most inspiring stories in modern music. Ed Sheeran was born in 1991 in Halifax, England, and raised in the small town of Framlingham. From an early age, he showed a deep passion for music. Unlike many artists who are pushed into the spotlight by circumstances or connections, Ed's journey was driven purely by love for his craft. He learned to play guitar as a child and began writing songs at a young age. Music wasn't just a hobby, it was a way for him to express himself, to tell stories, and to connect with the world around him. But passion alone doesn't guarantee success. As a teenager, Ed made a decision that would change his life. Instead of following a conventional path, he chose to pursue music full-time. He moved to London, a city filled with opportunities, but also filled with competition, uncertainty, and struggle. He didn't have a record deal. He didn't have financial support. What he had was determination. Life in London was anything but easy. Ed performed wherever he could, small bars, open mic nights, street corners, and tiny venues where the audience barely paid attention. Some nights, he performed for just a handful of people. Other nights, he played for free, simply for the chance to be heard. Money was scarce, and stability was almost non-existent. There were times when he didn't have a place to stay. He relied on friends, acquaintances, and sometimes even strangers, sleeping on couches, floors, and wherever he could find shelter. These were the years that defined him. For many people, such circumstances would be discouraging. But for Ed, they became motivation. He didn't see these struggles as barriers, he saw them as part of the journey. Instead of waiting for opportunities, he created them. He performed relentlessly, sometimes playing multiple gigs in a single day. He recorded his own music, produced his own EPs, and distributed them independently. He didn't wait for a record label to discover him, he built his own path. One of his early projects, Loose Change, was a self-funded EP that helped him gain initial recognition. It wasn't a massive commercial success, but it was a step forward. Each performance, each release, each connection brought him closer to his goal. Slowly, people started to notice. A turning point came in 2010. The turning point in Ed Sheeran's journey didn't come with a big contract or a viral hit. It began with a simple video. Ed uploaded a performance on SB.TV, a platform known for showcasing emerging talent, and something about it stood out immediately. In an industry dominated by polished production and studio perfection, his raw, acoustic style felt different. It was honest, stripped down, and deeply personal. There were no flashy effects or elaborate visuals, just a young artist, his guitar, and his voice. And that was enough to capture attention. Around the same time, Ed took another bold step. He traveled to the United States, chasing opportunities far from home. It was there that he met Jamie Foxx, a moment that would prove to be life-changing. Foxx recognized something special in Ed's talent and offered him a place to stay, along with access to his recording studio. For someone who had been struggling just to find a place to sleep, this wasn't just help, it was a foundation. It gave Ed the space, the resources, and the stability he needed to grow. But even with these opportunities, success didn't arrive overnight. Ed continued to work relentlessly. He wrote constantly, performed whenever he could, and kept pushing his music to new audiences. His dedication led to the release of No. 5 Collaborations project in 2011, an independent project that began turning heads. It wasn't just another release, it was a statement. The project highlighted his versatility, bringing together different artists and styles while maintaining his unique sound. It showed that he wasn't limited to one genre or approach. He was an artist capable of adapting, experimenting, and evolving. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2011, Ed released his debut studio album, Plus. The impact was immediate. The album climbed charts and introduced him to a global audience that had never heard anything quite like him. One of its standout tracks, The A-Team, became a defining moment in his career. Inspired by real-life experiences, the song told a story of struggle, survival, and vulnerability. It wasn't just a catchy tune. It was a narrative, a glimpse into a world that many people understood but rarely heard expressed so honestly. That ability to tell stories through music became Ed's signature. And from there, his rise only accelerated. His second album, X, Multiply, expanded his reach even further. It brought with it songs like Thinking Out Loud, a track that resonated across generations and became a global anthem. It showcased not only his songwriting ability but also his capacity to create music that felt timeless. Then came Divide, which took his career to an entirely new level. Songs like Shape of You dominated charts worldwide, proving that his appeal was truly global. But what truly set Ed apart wasn't just the success, it was how he achieved it. In an industry often driven by spectacle and image, Ed chose simplicity. He didn't rely on extravagant stage setups or heavily choreographed performances. Instead, he stood alone on stage with his guitar and a loop pedal, building his music live in front of the audience. This approach wasn't just unique, it was powerful. It allowed people to see the process, to connect with the music in real time, and to appreciate the artistry behind it. His performances felt personal, almost intimate, even in the largest stadiums. This authenticity became his greatest strength. Over time, his influence extended far beyond music. Ed became one of the best-selling artists in the world, with millions of albums sold and billions of streams. His concerts sold out across continents, and his songs became part of people's lives, played at weddings, in moments of joy, and in times of reflection. His net worth grew into the hundreds of millions, but what made his success remarkable was not just the numbers. It was the journey behind them. And that's what makes his story truly inspiring. Ed Sheeran didn't start with advantages. He didn't have a guaranteed path or a clear roadmap to success. He faced rejection, uncertainty, and moments when giving up would have been the easier choice. But he chose to keep going. He chose to believe in his music, even when no one else did. That is the lesson his journey offers. Success isn't about having the perfect beginning. It's about persistence. It's about continuing forward, even when the outcome is unclear. It's about trusting your craft and your vision, even when the world hasn't recognized it yet. Today, Ed Sheeran stands as a global icon, a symbol of what can happen when talent meets determination. His journey from homelessness to becoming a $350 million success story is proof that greatness can come from the most unexpected places. From sleeping on couches to performing in front of millions, from being unheard to becoming one of the most listened to artists in the world, Ed didn't just rise. He transformed his life. And perhaps the most powerful part of his story is this. He didn't wait for someone to give him a chance. He created his own. Because sometimes, the person with the least certainty becomes the one with the greatest success. From nothing to global success. If you love stories like this, hit subscribe and stay with us.